We are really grateful for your time, and we do have some questions from our participants. So, as we all are attending this Atmanirbhar Bharat Summit Entrepreneurs Conclave, so the young entrepreneurs among us have some questions relating to the entrepreneur market. So, the first question is by Prasuk Jain, and he asked, what should be the moral value system that an entrepreneur should adopt going forward in this journey of creating wealth?
I think it's a good question. It's very, very important to have a bigger goal in your mind, which will serve one and all. Look at the example which I gave you about Mukesh Ambani. The idea was in order to bring a cost benefit to the entire customers who would use the mobile phone. Once you have a great objective like that, automatically the evolution and ethical values of that business expands to reach you, and the multiplier benefit of that comes back to you. So, of course, you must always work towards that, because if you want your business to sustain for a long period of time, it must be definitely having all the values that you can possibly bring, and to see to it that it serves the customer's end needs, which is there. And if you can aspire to move in that direction, that's the best way to do it and go in that direction.
Thank you, sir. I think that surely had answered Prasuk's questions. Now, next question is very fun, and this is asked by Sarvesh Singh. So, sir, it asks, what was your dream as a college student? Did you always wanted to be a business tycoon, or you wanted to be something else back then?
Unfortunately, I was not a good visionary at that point of time. And my father was a doctor. I'm a first generation businessman. So I struggled actually in order to understand what the world of business was. One of the things which I did very profitably was the fact that I attended, and during my vacation time and others, I interned in offices and companies and factories. This gave me an opportunity to learn about something which was I was not familiar with, and I didn't have a background in my home or at breakfast meetings to be able to get benefit of that. But by going into various things, industry and businesses, in terms of internship and apprenticeship, I learned a lot. Those 3 years in college, every vacation, I took the opportunity of doing so. By that time, that way, I was able to learn a huge deal to do it. But no, at that time, I didn't. Even when I started business, my idea was a small textile unit, Palum unit, which we were supplying gray cloth to larger companies like Gwalior Rayon. And later on, of course, we developed our own brands, and but went into difficulty between both the businesses. But I didn't dream that we will be. But there was an aspiration that I would grow my companies. So whether it was textiles, whether it was real estate, or it is any other businesses that we are, our idea is to service maximum number of people with quality products at prices which look rational to the end consumer and is willing to buy it. And those are the type of works that we did. So yes, I was definitely hungry to grow, but I really didn't have a vision of what I would be, which I am today.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this. And next question is by Ashish Sharma. And the question is, what is the part of your life experience you would alter if you had a chance to?
Uh, Difficult question, because to be honest with you, I never look in the rear view mirror when I'm driving. I look in front, because I like to see what is going to come in front rather than what I have done in the past, which I want to change, because you must learn to accept the unchangeable. Whatever you cannot change, which is your past, don't try to make a change also, because it's not going to happen. What you got to do is to think of the future and change the changeable. So if I can improve myself in some business or in some product or in some line or adopting new technology, all that I must do. But why worry about what I would like to change in the past? I'd like to change everything, you know. But how does it help you? It doesn't. So I wouldn't bother about changing my past. I would change my future. I would plan better for the future, learn from mentors, learn from my past mistakes, and then take it fast forward in order to see that I do much better today and in the future than in the past. Don't cling to the past and feel sorry for oneself. That's a wrong thing to do in life. Always look positive, feel positive, and take it fast forward from today onwards. So I'm going to fast forward and say that I'd like to do much better in the future than I've done in the past. I'd like to be bigger, brighter. I'd like to service people more and do more back again for society. So all that is a fast forward, not backward.
Thank you, sir. That surely is a very valuable advice. And next question is by Apurva Kumar. And she asks you to outline your typical day.
Well, I'm up at 5:15. By 6 o'clock, I'm in the gym. So between 6 and 7, I go to the gym, and I leave my home by about 8 to 8:15 after breakfast to my office. I'm in my office before 9. I'm almost the first person in my office, and I like to get my day off the ground as early as possible. And I have a long day. But I don't only do business. I also run educational institutions. I run hospitals. I'm a trustee of temples. I participate in policy making by the government. I'm in NAREDCO, which is the National Real Estate Development Council for real estate side. I worked on the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana project and other projects for the state of Maharashtra. So I do a lot of work on policy changes in all the fields that I do. So a part of the day really goes into other things besides doing the business of business.
This surely is a very inspiring day to follow. And the last question is by Anshika Singh. And this question is really very interesting. So the question is, what tips or advice would you give someone interviewing at the house of Hiranandani?
Be honest, be truthful. Give all the facts, and highlight what you are good at, because people will then expect that you will be able to do what you are saying. So if you tell wrong facts, you may actually get the wrong job, because you may not be fit for it. So it's good to aspire, but it's not good to give wrong facts when you are communicating. And the moment you give the correct facts, it's able to get you a glove fit, proper fit in the job that we are trying to give it to you.
Thank you, sir. All of us will keep that in mind. And now I request Mr. Aman Jain, Assistant Administrator Office, NMIMS Indore, to please take over and share his experience. Aman Jain. Yes.
Aman, your mic is...
Sir, you are muted.
Hello. Hello, sir. It's an honor to have you here, sir. It's a pleasure. It was one of my dreams to talk to you once. Seriously, I just want to share a very small incident that happened with us. Me and my friends were there in Hiranandani State, Powai, sir. So we were partying over there. There was a club on the top floor of it. We came down late. We were there, and we were just clicking some pictures over there of that, because it was very nice. We were very young to have to see all these things, that big mountains. That mountains are having so nice waterfalls coming out of it. Such a beautiful place, scenic beauty. Or even having cement jungle with a scenic beauty is something really very nice. So we were clicking pictures. We were having all this fun over there. So there was one security guard, and few of the bouncers came to us, and they told us that you cannot click pictures over here. So we were like, see, it's a scenic beauty. We can, like, come on, we can click pictures of the nature. You cannot stop us from clicking pictures of the nature. So they are like, no, sir, this is all private. So we're like, somebody owns mountains in this country? So they were like, yes sir, these are all private. And we were like, sir, that was the moment we realized that, oh my god, we really want to talk to this man, this owner once. That such a big person, such a big man. And sir, it's an honor. This was a little incident happened with us, and that was the moment we realized that, we would like to be something like this man, whoever owns this, because at this moment we did not know who actually were the owners, were that place. And today I know it, that from that only I know. But it is so nice to talk to you once, sir. It was my dream and my one of my things to let you know this incident personally. And that also times up when I was with that bouncer, with that security guard, I told them that please let the owner know if he comes that, there was few guys over there were few students who came up, and they were so happy that we just want to be like you, sir. We aspired that time that even if we become 1 inch of you, we will be really happy in our life, sir. So this is
Very much. I'm so happy, Aman, that you came to Powai and other places. The idea is basically to create beautiful places and spaces in life. And so that people like you and others who stay there, live there, work there, all will enjoy the good facilities that we have created. And we try to create multiple things. This is exactly what I was telling Aman in my clear. All the aspects of life, when you get into as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, or even if you're doing a professional career, the idea is to constantly create ideas, products, services, all the other things which will actually be a pleasure to society or benefit society in some sort of way or the other. All this will go a long way. So, Aman, I wish you and all your colleagues the very best. Please do come again and have a look at all the other things and new things that we have done subsequent to that in various other projects that we do. And the idea is to do more and better every time that we continue to do. And I'm sure one day you will not be 1 inch, but you will be 1 foot above me. Thank you so much, and wish you all of the students who are now listening here today and everybody else a wonderful afternoon and a wonderful Sunday too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have got 2 more questions. So can we please?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, sir, this question is by Saksham Jain, and he asked, how can a new tech business can exist in between tycoons?
Between?
Business tycoons.
And
how can a new tech business can exist between huge business tycoons?
Oh, technology has been a very good factor where you can leapfrog. So there are very many hotel companies, for example, which were very large and spread all over the world. However, when companies like Airbnb came, or there were car companies which have large number of physical taxis, which actually were worth billions of dollars. But in reality, these two tech companies beat all the other tycoon giants who own these companies, physical assets. So it's possible with technology to really come up with new ideas and new thoughts. When I started business, I was also very small. And I couldn't believe that I could ever match with the big business tycoons of real estate. In those days, much, 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 much bigger than me. But when you keep on working in a particular field and improve yourself one step every day, you ultimately end up being very good over there. It doesn't matter what level you reached. The only thing which is important is, have I improved every day or from my experience of what was yesterday? So let's presume I've given a lecture yesterday to you or any other number of students. Is my lecture today better than my yesterday's lecture? Or is the building that I'm going to construct today better than my last building which I constructed? Or in any other factor, how can I do more better today in terms of yesterday? If you keep on making these little improvements in life every single day in everything that you do, automatically you create a business, you create an opportunity, you create a service, you create a profession, which is going to be very good. And it doesn't matter. The secret is you look up to mentors who are doing good in your business. but you don't have to benchmark yourself in terms of where you have reached. All you got to do is improve yourself all the time, pick up. Many times I used to have a mentor and then I overtook the mentor. After I overtook a mentor, I had to choose new mentors who were bigger than me, or better than me, or more ethical than me, or more quality conscious than me. So I would pick up different mentors at different pieces of time or parts of time. And then every time I would improve myself. So over a period of time, I also grew big simply because I kept on improving myself. And so can you.
So this clearly justifies the statement consistency is the key. Right. And now the next and final question is by Vaibhav Pandey, and he asks, apart from traditional real estate developer and broker, what all opportunities are there? Is it worth entering real estate business in 2021?
Real estate business is growing tremendously. The Prime Minister has given a call. Besides Atmanirbhar Bharat, he says housing for all, and has given schemes and ideas of how to grow. In real estate, it's not just homes and houses, but you have commercial real estate, you have IT, you have data centers, you have retail, you have theaters, you have malls, you have buildings, you have hospitals, you have schools, you have colleges. So real estate is a very, very wide business. Second, there are multiple services that you can do for the purpose of it. You can do architecture, you can do engineering, you can do construction contract, you can do electrical, you can do painting, you can do paints. 260 industries are connected with real estate. So not only directly in real estate, you could be allied industry which will serve the real estate business. Then there is transport, there is communications, there is everything that goes into a house will require to do it. Real estate is a very growing business. And of course, I would recommend it very strongly to the young people to take it up because there is a huge opportunity of that. But you must remember, be ethical in the businesses that you're doing, be good at the work that you're doing, learn how to do it, pick up mentors who will teach you how to do better, and keep on improving yourself of how you can do. If you gather all these things in the real estate business, it's a great business. And I strongly recommend that you can take it up.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Mrs. Avni Joshi, Assistant Professor of Computers, Computer Engineering Department, STME, NMIMS Indore, to please present the vote of thanks.
I'm on a VC. I'm on a VC.
Hello, everyone. Feeling gratitude and not expressing is just like wrapping a gift and not giving it. No matter what language we speak, a kind and smiling thank you always speaks to everyone's heart. Good morning, everyone. I'm Avni Joshi, Assistant Professor NMIMS Indore, and I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. I, on behalf of the entire NMIMS Indore family, extend a hearty gratitude to our honorable guest, Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani, for enlightening us with his knowledge and inspirational thoughts. Today's session was full of interesting things, and I'm sure all our students have learned a lot from you today, sir. It was a really meaningful session, and you truly are an inspiration. Once again, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule and gracing us with your presence.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. We are really grateful for your time and effort which you took to share your experiences with us. Thank you so much.